and welcome to the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. This is where I talk about all things crochet and knitting and crafty related, all of the good stuff in life. My name is Ali. I live in Kent in the UK with my husband and our two daughters who are currently at school. Not my husband, he's downstairs working, but the girls are at school. This is episode 70 and the last episode of 2020. We have made it to the end, everybody. We have made it, we've survived 2020, just about. We're limping towards the end, we've done it. Timestamps and show notes for everything that I talk about is underneath this video in the description box. You just have to click that little chevron arrow and it'll all appear in all its glory with all its links and everything you need to know. But if I've missed anything, just drop me an email or a note. My email's underneath as well, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Starry Eyes Ali. This is the Christmas episode, which basically means it's the same as any other episode, but I'm wearing a Christmas shirt and a candy cane necklace. So I wear this every December, my candy cane necklace. It's glass and I love it. And my shirt has Christmassy things on. Got a robin and presents and a tree and bells and other Christmassy delights. It's also a little bit see-through, so hopefully you didn't cop an eyeful then. Hello camera, thank you for focusing on me. I think I've got my camera settings sorted now. For quite a while, I think I had them, I don't know what I was doing, but I think I have got it sussed now. Oh, I've also got a Christmas mug. It's not mine, it's Lilia's. I can't drink out of massive mugs, I have to have a normal size mug. But it's the only Christmas mug in the house. I'm gonna have to rectify that, aren't I? So this is Lilia's ridiculous Christmas mug, which I have borrowed, which means I've got a massive cup of tea. But it's too hot to drink at the moment. So we're going to be talking about today some finished objects. Actually, we're just going to talk about one finished object, some works in progress, and as usual, there is many of those. I'm going to mention the Strictly Sockalong, but as we have no prizes to give away today, I'm just going to do very brief on that. We've got a giveaway winner for the Cows Inspired by Persia collection, which I announced in the last podcast. I've got some incoming stuff. I want to talk about some books and stuff, and then I'm going to do and finally at the end where I just talk about blather on about anything that I feel like telling you about, and I'm just going to catch you up on a few bits. Vlogmas is currently underway. Oh my, is Vlogmas underway? YouTube is wall to wall with Vlogmas. We are spoiled for choice this year. There are so many wonderful ones. I'm just not going to have time to watch them. I do watch some like after Christmas or during the Quimbo Limbo is the best time for me, even though it's kind of after the build up. It's lovely to look back. I do really enjoy doing that. But I'm watching a few. I've been watching Ellie of Craft House Magic. I've been watching Gaynor of Tales from Cuckoo Land. Cherie of Ollie and Bella, Rachel So Me, Victoria of Victoria Knits, which I absolutely love. Who else? Quirky Monday podcast is doing Vlogmas at the moment. I've been trying to keep up a little bit with hers. Rel of the Dabbling Hook is doing Vlogmas for the first time ever. Zoe of the Pins and I could go on and on and on. So go and watch all of those, and then if you run out of Vlogmases to watch and you've got a little bit of time, I'm also doing Vlogmas, not on this channel, but over on our family channel, which is This Little Wonderful Life. And I will link the Vlogmas playlist underneath. And if I can, I'll link it on the screen. I'm doing it over there. And I'm just releasing them every 2 to 3 days. So head on over and have a look if you're interested. Right, shall we get started on everything? And we'll start with finished objects, which is something you've actually seen before. And actually, hang on, I'll grab it and then I'll start whittering on about the next thing. Hold on. Oh no, I've got nowhere to put my show notes. Hold on. Okay, so my finished object was just about nearly finished in my last podcast, but she didn't have legs. So this is Peaches, the Triceratops. She was a present for Phoebe's 10th birthday, and actually I started Vlogmas a couple of days early. Phoebe's birthday is on the 30th of November, so you can see the moment that Phoebe received Peaches the Triceratops in the very first Vlogmas episode that I uploaded. She absolutely loves her, and she's got her legs now, which she didn't have last time. She's from a pattern from the book. Do I have the book? I did have the book. It's over there, 1 second. The book is Dinosaurs, Mammoths and More, Prehistoric Amigurumi, which is a bit of a mouthful for a title of a book. this one. And I spoke about this quite a bit in my last video on this channel, which is Amigurumi and Me, where I talked about all the amigurumi I've made over the last 10 years. And thank you to everyone for your response to that. It was really fun to sort of delve into my memory banks and look at all the things that I've made over the years, because I absolutely love amigurumi. So if you're interested in learning a bit more about the stuff that I've made, and I talk a bit about the amigurumi books that I own, and yeah, if you're interested in that, go and have a look at that video. It was really fun to make. So Phoebe is absolutely thrilled with her, and I'm really pleased that she's finally finished and that she's got all of her limbs. Patty left a comment saying that she's the birthday saurus, which I really like. So she's Peaches, the Triceratops, who is the birthday saurus. And Lilia actually had requested an amigurumi for the end of this year, and I don't think I'm going to have time to make it. She asked for a pattern from this book, which I also spoke about in the last podcast and the last amigurumi video. And she wants the Jester, which is this the Jester here. And I actually ordered the yarn for it, which arrived. I'm going to make it quite small because Phoebe tends to cuddle her amigurumi, and Lilia likes to display it. She likes like cutesy things that she can look at. So I got the 4-ply fingering weight yarn, and I've only got little balls because I think that's going to be more than enough. And I got the Shepya's, I know we all struggle with that word, Katona yarn, and I got it in quite muted colours. There we are. I really like them, and that's the name of the yarn there. And then I got 2 different ones for the skin tone, and I also got a bigger one for the hair. So the hair is, I can tell that the hair is going to take a bit more yarn. I'm dropping them all. A bit more yarn than these little colourful bits. So I got a bigger ball of the brown, which actually I think I could have gone a little bit darker with that. And for the skin tone, I got 2 different ones. So I'm going to have to decide which one. I realise I'm showing you 2 very similar shades of beige. I think I'm probably going to go with the slightly darker one. I'm not sure. But it's nice to have options, and cotton yarn is so affordable to buy. And when I say affordable, I mean it's so cheap to buy that I could get away with ordering a little bit of extra. And I make so much amigurumi, it's always going to get used in little projects here and there. So that's an upcoming whip, which leads me nicely on to works in progress. I wonder if this tea is... How does anyone drink out of mugs this massive? I wonder if it's cooled down enough yet. Feels like I'm drinking out of a really awkwardly shaped bucket. Massive mugs are not for me. I do like a proper mug though, like a thick mug. My mum loves china mugs, you know, the really thin ones, and I do like those as well, but when I'm having a cup of tea I do like a proper thick mug, whereas my mum would always favour the thinner china mug. Why am I talking about mugs? Move on to works in progress. So the first work in progress that I've got to show you, because I never show you all of my works in progress because I have far too many, but I'm going to show you Phoebe's granny blanket that I've been working on, because I said last time that I'd put a marker in and I wanted to see how much I could get done. Now, truth be told, the answer to that is not a lot, because I ended up getting distracted by something else, which I'll show you in a minute. So this is all fingering weight minis that I've either been given as gifts, or I've bought, or I've collected in swaps. And for the first time ever, when I'm making a project like this, I'm trying to actually think about whether the colours work in harmony together. Usually I just bung colours in, and I love doing that. And I'm still doing that to a certain extent, but I'm being a bit more mindful about how it's going to look at the end. Now, many of you will be looking at it going, really? Because it doesn't look like it. But trust me, by the end you'll see where I'm going with it. So this is where I am. Where's the marker that I put in? Where is it? This is where we discover that the marker's fallen out and I actually can't say anything about my progress, isn't it? Where is it? It's not here. Oh no, here it is. Oh, thank goodness for that. I thought I'd lost it because I really like this marker. The marker actually came with a crochet hook that Phoebe herself bought me for my birthday. So there it is, and you can see I've done precisely 2 rows. Now, to be fair, they are really long rows. I think I made it too long, to be honest, but it's going to be an heirloom type blanket. She'll have this her whole life probably. So I might start doing what, I was watching the Bakery Bears and Kay Jones was saying that she's got a similar project on the go like this, and she's just going to do 1 line every day, or that's what she's going to aim for, 1 line every day. And she does hers first thing in the morning. Now I don't have a pocket of regular time in my days, first thing in the morning or in the evenings, where I can do that. So it'll be more like grabbing a bit of time. And I don't think I'll be able to do it every day, but I think I'm going to try and have that as a goal. 1 row a day. And it's living, all the minis as well that I've got lined up are inside, all in there, looking lovely. And it's living in my bag. Oh, and by the way, the hook size I'm using is 3.25mm. And the bag it lives in is nice and roomy, and it was a gift from a lovely viewer of this podcast, and she has been a viewer of this podcast pretty much since the beginning, and she's always been absolutely delightful and so supportive and so active in the comments. She helps other people out. She taught us how to extract the DNA from strawberries. And that is in one of our vlogs on the little This Little Wonderful Life channel. And if I can find which one it is, I'll link it on the screen now. And that is our Minty. And she made me this bag a while ago as a gift. Can't remember if this was a swap or just a gift. Knowing our Minty, it was probably just a lovely gift. And she lives in Canada. So of course there is a hints of Canada there. And then I got a surprise parcel in the post the other day. I've had quite a few surprise parcels in the post, and I do feel very spoiled and very lucky. And our Minty had sent, not only did she send she sent some lobster fabric, which I've actually put away in my fabric store, and they were lying on Canadian beach towels. It was just brilliant. And she sent the girls a card, which basically just said to them, well done on being so brilliant in a difficult year, and that really meant so much to them. So thank you, Aunt Minty. They were so chuffed, and little Winnie the Pooh key rings with it as well. And she sent me a few other bits, but she sent me a matching pouch to go with my owl bag. And look, it's got the same little clasp on it. It's got the same fabric, the same contrast fabric, and it's got the same lining, which is going to be really hard. I don't know if it'll come out, but it's white, but it's got maple leaves on it. So now I've got a little pouch, so when I ball up the next few minis to go in my blanket, the next upcoming few, I can pop them in the pouch, so I know what the next ones are that I want to include. So thank you so much, Aunt Minty, for that. And I'm looking forward to working on this. It's a really long-term project, and that's fine. I've got a couple of really long-term projects. Actually, I've got a couple of really long-term projects, and one project that is in a cupboard just here that has been ongoing for over 4 years, and I'm going to have to finish it because I don't think it's a granny square blanket, and I've made all the granny squares, and I need to sew it all together and make some more granny squares, and I think I need to just do it and finish it. I have spoken about it before, so maybe I'll pull that out in the next episode in the new year to motivate myself to get moving with it. Okay, so I said that I hadn't been working on that project much because I've been distracted with something else. Do excuse my fringe. I'm actually getting my hair cut tomorrow, and if I could have timed it so that I could have had my hair cut before the podcast, I would have done. But the hairdressers have been closed for ages, and they've only just reopened, so it's quite difficult to get an appointment. So you're just going to have to make do with my sort of semi-lockdown hair. Right, I'm just going to look up the pattern so I can tell you the name of it, because I haven't printed the pattern and I haven't even put this project in a bag. Do you know when you just start something and you can't put it down, you just keep working on it, and there's no point even finding a bag for it because you know it's going to be done and dusted within the week. That's this project. The name of it is the Catalina Ear Warmer, and it looks like this. Whoops. Oh, well, at the moment it looks like this, so it doesn't look much like an ear warmer just yet. It's like a scarf. for a very small person. Isn't that gorgeous? I have done cabling before, but I've never done a cable that looks quite like this, and I love it. It's a beautiful kind of offset chevron pattern. It is beautiful, and it is a joy to do. It's a 8-row repeat, and it works up really quickly because obviously it's really narrow, so you can do 8 rows really quickly. I've got, I think I'm working at slightly too tight a gauge. The pattern called for a 4.5mm knitting needle, but my gauge, I did do a gauge swatch and it was coming up. Oh, just started coughing then. It was coming up way too big, so I switched down to a 3.5mm needle because I do knit quite loosely anyway. And I think possibly a 4 would have done it, but that's okay. I like the fabric I've got, and because the actual the width of it, you know, doesn't really matter. It's going to be the perfect width for my ears, to cover my ears, and the length I can just knit it until it's long enough. And what you do is you sew it together at the back. So I thought, I know, I've done a provisional cast on now. I did it when I made my as if tee. I know what I'm doing. I'll do a provisional cast on. So I did that. And then of course the first row after the provisional cast on is a cable row. So now all the provisional cast on stitches are kind of twisted at the bottom. So I'm going to have to be really mindful and careful when I pick up these stitches to graft at the other end. It's a learning process, what can I say? I don't think it'll be too much of a disaster, even if I have to pick up a few stitches and I'll have a seam. I'll finagle it so it doesn't look too bad, but I just love it. And the yarn was actually the catalyst for making it. So I'd been thinking about how nice it would be to have a cabled ear warmer. And then my lovely friend Anette, who lives in Denmark, and I've spoken about a few times before, she sent a lovely advent parcel last year, and this year she sent us another box of goodies for Christmas. And amongst it was like an advent candle and treats from Denmark, which she knows we all enjoy, some Christmas ornaments, some paper stuff, some stuff for dyeing yarn, and some yarn as well. So I'm not going to show you all of it, obviously, but I want to show you this yarn. What have I done with the... I haven't got the ball band, I think it's downstairs, but I know what it is. It's Knitcrate Vidalana in the colour Broken Stones. And it is like a chain ply, I think that's the right word for it. It's like a chain ply yarn. Will it focus? There you go, yeah, you go. See how it's all kind of chained together? Oh, nor how dry my hands are. It's all that blinking hand gel. I had to go into the office yesterday, so it was hand gel every 5 seconds. Yeah, so, and that's the colour of it. And it's actually a sport weight yarn. And she sent me 2 skeins of this. So I balled it up in my hand woving balls that I like to do. Hand wound balls even. And I'm holding it double to get a worsted weight. And that was the perfect weight for the Catalina ear warmer. Now the pattern is by K.SZ Knits. There it is. See, she's got the lovely green one there. Yeah, I've just got a few more rows to do, and it's been the perfect evening knitting. I've just left it on the sofa, I sit down, I pick it up, and I leave my little, I'm using this kind of cable needle, which I've not really used before. I normally use the one that's got the little kink in the middle, but this works brilliantly. I really like this one actually. And to keep track of it, I've got my little project notes book here that my friend Cherie sent me one time. I think we were doing a swap, and I keep this is one of my many project notebooks, and I just do little doodles and I stick in the yarn labels and I draw little pictures, but it's also a way to keep track of my rows and things, and just adds another little fun creative element to the process of knitting something. So that's my next work in progress. Another slurp of tea out of this bucket. There's a social club opposite our house. The social club's is a community owned hall basically. It's like the village hall, and they use it for the local nursery. They use it for, like, you know, the line dancing and the yoga and stuff like that. And there's all kinds of community groups use it, and they hire it out, which is annoying sometimes because they hire it out for parties. But at the moment they can't do that, so yay. So Saturday nights are very nice and quiet. But they've attempted to make it look Christmassy. So they've hung up this huge sign that says Merry Christmas, which is fair enough. But then they've got these lights like around it, but they just look like strip lighting. So they've just made the whole thing look like a strip club, really. It just looks like a neon lit strip club rather than Christmassy. But the Merry Christmas, I appreciate the effort. That was an aside. What was I going to talk about? Oh yes, so that was my headband. And then the other thing I've been working on, well, or not working on, but I'm going to show you to hold myself accountable, because I'd actually like to get some of these done before Christmas, setting myself unrealistic challenges. I did speak about this a bit last time, but I've moved it into its own project bag, and oh my goodness, this project bag. This is from Michelle. Michelle is Pictures in Threads on Instagram, and she's such a lovely sewer, and she's, again, another such a lovely supportive person who has sent me lovely gifts like this in the past. And this is such a gorgeous bag, and she sent it to me just as a little gift, a little thank you for the podcast, which nobody ever has to do. Look at, they are ice skating sheep. Sheep in a winter wonderland. I love fabric like this, which is winter, but not necessarily overtly Christmas. And then there's two types of lining. You've got the grey snowflakes and the blue snowflakes. And it was really weird when I opened it, because although this is much better than anything I ever make, I've been making bags like this recently, slightly narrower coming in at the top, but the round bottom, because I wanted a bag pattern that I could make that was really quick and easy. So I literally just folded a bit of paper in half and drew the half shape, and it worked brilliantly. But I've given them all as gifts and they've all gone out. So when I make another one in the future, I will show you, and if I get a chance I might do another tutorial for it, because it really is quick and simple. Michelle's done these wonderful drawstrings where they're kind of sewn into channels at the top. The ones I do have got just an extra bit that, you know, basically it's simpler because I'm not very good at it. But yeah, this is so beautiful, and the interfacing makes it really nice and squidgy, and the whole thing just feels wintry and cosy and lovely. So thank you, Michelle, for this beautiful bag. And in it I've got my Among Us things. So this is the first one I made. Now I've made no more progress on it since the last time, and the pattern that I'm using, hang on, let me just get it to focus. This is it. Now I'm not dead happy with how the legs, the pattern for the legs. Now I don't know if maybe I've done it wrong, but I'm going to see if I can modify it slightly. I've got a better idea for how to do the legs than the pattern gives, but everything else is fine with the little backpack, although actually I've got a better idea for that as well. So anyway, I'm kind of seeing this as a guide, and I'm going to have a little play about and see if I can come up with my own way of getting the shape that I want. Among Us, if you don't know, is like it's like an online game for kids and adults. Dan plays it, and it's a bit like Cluedo. If you Google it, you'll see all the little crewmates and the imposters and things like that. And they normally there'll be a little silver bit at the front which will represent the front of its space helmet, and this is its space backpack. And I want to make them in like a rainbow of colours for the girls. I think they'll get a real kick out of that. I just want to make, I don't know, I just want to perfect the pattern a bit more. It's time though, isn't it? I'd love to just have a whole day to sit and do that. And I'm using all these lovely little minis. Mini cotton things, and they are Katia Amigurumi, which was a gift of quite a while ago now. They're really cute, they're like sweets. So that's a kind of wishful thinking work in progress. And then my Strictly socks, I haven't made any progress on at all, because again I've been distracted by the ear warmer. So Strictly socks are things that you make for the Strictly Sockalong. So every year we have Strictly Come Dancing here in the UK. It runs from September up to Christmas, otherwise known as Dancing with the Stars in other countries. And this is the 4th year I've run a knit along where it's all about silliness and cheating and making socks, basically crocheted socks, woven socks, knitted socks. All the details are underneath in the description box to link you to like all the rules that which are there to be broken, and how to post your finished objects and so on and so forth. And I am making the Lola Socks, which is the official yarn of the official pattern of the Strictly Sockalong. And the Lola pattern is by Jules of So Sweet Violet, and there was the official yarn of the Strictly Sockalong this year was the Lola yarn by Kelly of Lay Family Yarns, and they both donated percentages of the sales of those to Bill's Special Bus, which was a fundraiser, or is a fundraiser, by my lovely friend Gaynor of the Tales from Cuckoo Land podcast, and she was trying to raise money to buy a mini bus for the very, very special school that her son Bill goes to. I'm delighted to say that thanks to all of you buying the yarn and the pattern, and thanks to all of you getting involved in Gaynor's raffles and everything she's been doing over this year and the years before, she finally got the bus. So if you would be interested in seeing the very snivelly, emotional, crying Gaynor, sorry Gaynor, but it's true. I will link the vlog below where where the bus arrives, because it's really, really lovely. It's really heartwarming, and right before Christmas as well. So well done Gaynor, and well done everyone, and thank you so much to Kelly and to Jules, who got on board with the Strictly Sockalong and made those donations. Anyway, all that to say, this is my Strictly sock. You saw it last time and I've made no progress since then, which is ridiculous because I'm so close to the end, and for the first time in about 3 years, since the first year basically, I may get my Strictly socks finished before the end of the year. So once I've done the headband and attempted to make a load of Among Us characters, I will just put in pure knitting time on this. On these, I should say. And I'm knitting them on DPNs. And hang on, let me get this back in. I'm knitting them on DPNs, and they're living in my bag, my Lindy Hot bag by Julie of So Unique. She's also doing Vlogmas this year, which has got my Strictly Socks badges on it. There you go. With yellow writing and yarn, black background, and then blue writing and yarn, white background. I sell these in my Etsy shop. They're linked underneath. So if you want some, make sure you go and order some, because I'm going to close my shop on the 15th of December and take the rest of the year off, and then open it again in January. I've sold out of my Little Drops of Wonderful pins. I cannot believe I've had so many in stock, and I just had a huge run on them and I've completely sold out. There is more on the way, but it's unlikely they'll arrive or be on sale now until the new year. So I'll keep you posted. Watch this space. And I don't have any of my own pins to show you here, so I shall put a picture up on the screen so you know what I'm talking about. So that is my work in progress, which has no progress on it. So I'm cheating a bit with that one. I'm not going to do a separate bit about the Strictly Sockalong. All the information is underneath because there's no prizes to draw this episode. All the prizes now will be drawn at the end, and I've got tons and tons of prizes still to give out, and there's still, you've got until the end of the year, the end of December basically, and I won't even probably close the threads until the 1st or 2nd week of January, so you've still got tons of time to make yourself some Strictly socks and get them in the finished objects thread, or have a chatter in the chatter thread. All of those places will be into the draw to win prizes, as will the hashtag, which is Strictly Sockalong 2020. And thank you to everyone who's joining in. It is honestly one of the highlights of my year, and although I'm always woefully bad at keeping up with all the posts and everything, I love it. I love going on to Instagram, looking at the hashtag and just seeing Strictly socks everywhere, or going onto the chatter thread and seeing how friendly and helpful and lovely and enthusiastic people are. And all the finished beautiful socks, crocheted and knitted in the finished objects thread, and it's just a happy thing. It's just a happy thing in a year that's maybe not had tons and tons of happiness in it. So thank you to everyone who makes the Strictly Sockalong what it is, and thank you to everyone who donates the lovely prizes, because that elevates it to a whole new level. And thank you, just a million times thank you. Well, I've just remembered there was one other thing for my works in progress that I didn't mention because it doesn't look very impressive. I have done 2 advent swaps this year, one as usual with my friend Lily, who is Lily of Norway on YouTube, and one with my lovely friend Sarah again, who is Sarah One Daisy on Instagram. I've done 12 days with Sarah and 24 with Lily. and I was going to make a little lap blanket in the crochet granny stripe, but I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it as I've done in previous years, so I've got plans for this. These are just the first 2 yarns that are going in. It's a basic, it's not focusing, but it's a basic granny stripe. But I've got plans to now marl this, I think that's the right word, with another fingering weight yarn to make a much thicker blanket and to soften the colours as they transition, just as something a bit different this year. So the yarn is on its way. I've ordered it from Love Crafts this time. Normally I buy from Wool Warehouse, but I thought I'd give them a go. I'm hoping it will arrive today because I'm getting a bit behind and I need to get working on it. So if it does, I will have this to share with you in the next podcast and certainly on Vlogmas. Is that it for works in progress? Obviously, you know, that's it for what I'm going to show you. Okay, let's move on to the giveaway. So last time I announced the most exciting giveaway. I have a copy of Mina Phillip, who is a knitting expat, her first book. It's currently an ebook, but I believe it's going to be an actual book as well. It's a collection of 10 patterns, all completely customizable in size and colour, and she gives loads of tips in there about how to do that, and any gauge. So she gives instructions for how to make them work for any gauge, so any yarn, any gauge. And there are 10 patterns, and it's called I was going to say Pals Inspired by Persia. No, Cows Inspired by Persia is the name of it. And she very, very generously not only gave me my own copy, which is so exciting because I'm very, very into the idea of colour work at the moment. I've made one colourwork mitten, and I've got to make the other one. And I do have, I'm not showing it because I haven't even started it. And I loved making that mitten, and I loved getting a little bit more to grips with colour work, and I really want to keep learning more about that. Anyway, stop gabbling on about all that. So she gave me a copy, and she gave me a copy to give away as well. There were 124 entries in that giveaway thread, and I'd asked you all to tell me the first podcast that you ever watched, because Mina was the first podcast I ever watched, and it was so brilliant. There were so many ones that I recognised, and some of them were even the same as mine, and so many new ones as well. So thank you for sharing that, and a few of you emailed your answers in, and I put that in the thread for you, some of you who couldn't use Ravelry. And I drew a winner this morning using our lovely artificial intelligence friend whose name begins with A but won't be mentioned, and then she drew number 59, who is CDP Viola. That's Chrissy. So Chrissy, you have won a copy of that collection. So if you could get in touch with me, the best way to get in touch with me is via email, but you can also get in touch with me via Ravelry or Instagram. So well done, yay! And thank you so much, Mina, and thank you to everyone who took the time to go and enter that giveaway and share your first podcast discoveries. Right, moving on to incoming. Now I've had quite a few what's that? Oh, it's a street cleaner going past outside. If you can hear that whirring, it's one of those little street cleaning things. I've had quite a few incoming things, so I'm not actually going to talk about them all, because as much I really love talking about incoming things, but sometimes I get a bit embarrassed like I don't deserve it. So I'm going to go through the things I've got around me, but other things, if you've sent me something, obviously we've already had a conversation where I've said thank you, but they will come up in future as I use them and as I talk about them, and some of them I'll talk about in Vlogmas as well. So first of all, a couple of things that I've bought. One of them arrived, and it was a huge surprise because I'd completely forgotten that it was coming. Lola, who is Third Vault Yarns. Oh, I didn't even say, my Strictly socks, by the way, the yarn that I'm using is by Third Vault Yarns, and it is in the colourway Ray, which is a Star Wars reference, and it is absolutely beautiful. And it was completely accidental that these are the Lola Socks and that the yarn is by a dyer whose name is Lola, because the dyer behind Third Vault Yarns is called Lola. Anyway, she published a book called Board Game Knits some time ago, and she wanted to publish a follow-up book, a Board Game Knits 2. So she launched a Kickstarter for it. So what do you call it? If you invest, donate, bought? I don't know, I gave some money to the Kickstarter, and then there was an option later on to upgrade your investment so that you could get a copy of the book when it was ready. So I did that as well, because Yeah, I was like, yeah, I want the book. I want a copy of the book. I want a physical book I can hold because I like a proper book. And it arrived. And I was like, oh, I forgot about that. And it was a really nice surprise. So here is Board Game Knits Volume 2 by Lola Johnson. And there's all the other people there that it was in collaboration with. And it is a collection inspired by the modern wave of board games, drawing from different categories and styles of gaming, featuring patterns from 5 designers. Each knit is a beautiful and distinctive combination of ideas and techniques, ranging from hats to shawls to socks. Many of the patterns allow you to add your own unique touch, and all of them encourage you to play with colour, style and have fun with your knitting. And there's a bit more information, but I won't read it all out. So I'm guessing, I haven't even been to look at the update, I'm guessing this is available now, but I'll put all the information that you need about it underneath this video. I haven't even looked at it yet because I wanted to save it to look through it with a cup of tea and a biscuit, with nobody bothering me. The kids were off for 2 weeks homeschooling because they had COVID cases in their bubbles. And they're back now. They went back last week. So I've been using that time since they've been back at school to catch up on everything else that I couldn't get done when they were at home. So yeah, I can't really go through and say, oh, this is my favourite, because I haven't looked through it yet. Oh, but there is so many. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Who are these by? Oh, hang on. Let me show you these. Settler's Mitts by, oh, that's by Lola Johnson, the dyer behind Third Vault Yarns. So I'm not a huge gamer even, so I won't know some of these games. But look at these, this is the palm of the mitts. How lovely are they? Oh, I love those. Let's have one more quick look through and flash another pattern at you. Oh, I remember seeing this, I think, on her Instagram, the Age of Wonders shawl. This is also by Lola. Let's see if I can get a good full picture of it. Oh, I like that. Look at all the different pattern techniques and textures. I like that yarn as well. Oh, I'm going to have fun looking through this. I'm so excited. So that was my first thing that came in. And then I got my Beaches and Birdsongs mini skein club, which I treated myself to. So this is the last one. They do them in batches of 3 months. So I'm guessing the one for January, February, March will probably be available soon. Shall we have a look together? Yep, she's got them in. So it's called, you go to Beaches and Birdsong on Etsy. It's called the Nature Trail Monthly Mini Yarn Club. It's £21. Plus postage, so they're available now, and that's for January, February and March. Anyway, this is the December one. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, the restraint I have shown. 2 chocolate coin. I'm going to have those in a minute. My tea's gone cold, but I can have those when I've finished filming. And I've got a little snowflake. Sorry, I'm showing you my grey hair. There's no point in dyeing it until after I've had it cut tomorrow. I'll put a little snowflake on the yarn. And the colour, so it's Mountain Hare and Red Deer, a snowflake progress keeper and a sweet treat. And here's the yarn. What did I say it was called? Mountain Hare and Red Deer. So I'm guessing Red Deer is the reddy brown one. And Mountain Hare is the grey and white one. Aren't they beautiful? They've been really, really lovely, these mini skeins, and I've really, really enjoyed them. So I have 6 altogether now. Woo! And so I need to decide what I want to do with them. I'd quite like to use them all in the same project because I think they would all look really nice together. And they're 20 gram minis, so they're a good size as well. So there you go, that's my Beaches and Birdsong. I also wanted to show you a couple of bags. So first of all, Dominique, who is one half of the Will Is The Answer podcast, had seen a bag in a shop and said, I had to send it to you. And I'm so thrilled with this bag. It's the kind of thing I would see and talk myself out of buying, because I'd be like, oh no, it's fine, I can just use a carrier bag or something. And it's this. Oh, wow, a stripy bag. No! It's got lobsters on it. And it is perfect. It's the perfect kind of, do you know what, and this is going to make it sound bad, but I mean this in a really positive way. It's the perfect mum bag because, just show it to you in relation to me, I can fit everything. So imagine we're going out for the day, we're having a picnic, I've got everyone's drinks in here, I've got snacks, I've got knitting, I've got plasters, stuff for geocaching, or like if we're at the beach, this would fit a good couple of towels in it. Or if we're on a car trip, this would fit everything we need, you know, iPads, earphones, snacks and tissues and everything. It is perfect. And I've kept it up in the bedroom because I wanted to show it to you, but now I can use it. It's coming with me when we go up to my stepmum's in that intervening period at Christmas when we're allowed to visit people. This is going to come with me for the car journey up there. I'm thrilled with this. And she also sent a few other bits for Phoebe's birthday. And thank you so much, Dominique. It was so lovely of you. And she sent some yarn minis and just other lovely bits. And in here as well, it's a beautiful bag that Lynn sent me. And she sent it along with a few other goodies. So thank you so much, Lynn. And she said, the card said, or the little note said, happy unbirthday. Which I really love, because I really love Alice in Wonderland, so that little reference there. And it's a knot bag, so you do that and then you can have it round your wrist like that. I just love this, and the print, I love the colours of this. It's kind of like a muted, summery, I don't know, there's something about this combination of the green and the orange and the pink and the light blue that, I don't know, I love it. I love that. Thank you so much, Lynn. I love it. Thank you so much. And like I say, I've had quite a few other things coming through. Some of it I've already talked about and some of it I'm going to talk about in the future. Ruth, I particularly want to mention because she has been so generous and lovely. And yeah, thank you, Ruth. And she sent me some lovely yarn because she knew that I was excited about US dyers that I don't, you know, obviously in the UK is a bit harder to get hold of, and she sent me a load of stuff from US dyers. I did want to show you this one though because I just love the colours. It's Canon hand dyes and the colour is Karma Chameleon and it's on their Oscar Sparkle fingering base. Look at that. That is just beautiful, isn't it? This is going to make gorgeous socks. Absolutely gorgeous socks. Just can't get over the colours of that. Like the greens and the purple, I just love it. And she sent me this cute little vintage sewing kit as well. How lovely is that print on the front? So when I finally get, well, so the our dream is to have a studio in the garden, like an office that I can use for my crafty stuff and my podcasting stuff. But it's becoming more of an essential thing now because Dan, in his new job. Thank you everyone for your comments on Dan getting his new job. He's on day 3 today and he's loving it. But for the first 6 months, he will be working at home. After that, he'll go back to the office, but probably not full time in the office. So our working life, all of our working lives probably have changed probably forever. So the idea of having an office in the garden makes more and more sense. Yeah, so it's becoming more of a necessity. So we're really saving hard and we're hoping that we might be able to do that next year. But like anything, when it's such a big project, like our bedroom, we've got to do our bedroom next year as well. It was going to be done this year, but COVID. When it's such a big project, my mind just starts to go, oh no, I can't compute, I can't do it, I don't know who to start with. Do I call the electrician first? Do I call, what do I do? And then I just go, no, I'll just have a cup of tea and not think about it. So I really do need to get moving with it and get these things done. Otherwise, it will be 5 years down the line and we'll be thinking of moving probably. We won't have done any of these things. Okay, I think that's it for incoming for now. And I'm going to move on to books and stuff. So I talked about some books on Vlogmas that I like to read at Christmas. And I'm looking down and I've just realised I haven't brought one of them with me. So I'm going to talk about the first one and then I'll go and get the other one. So the first, I have a couple of books that I reread either every year or every other year, alternating them. And one of them is Skipping Christmas. Now, if you've been watching my Vlogmas, this will be a bit of a repeat, so do forgive me. It's by John Grisham. It's a very short tale about how commercialism is and expectations of spending money is so interwoven with Christmas, and how when a couple decides to avoid that and skip Christmas and go on a cruise, so they've got a grown-up daughter who's gone away on a gap year and they're like, look, she's not here. It's the first time she's not been here for Christmas. It's 1 year. Let's take all the money we would have spent on Christmas. Let's not do any of it. Let's go on a cruise. And it's about what happens when they try to do that and how difficult it is. I've seen quite a few reviews online where they've not been very positive about this book, but honestly, I'm really fussy about most things and I love it. I think you need to really look past some of the stuff that's going on to see the message that he's getting at. And that is that the meaning of Christmas is charity and family and being together and the importance of traditions as well and what it means to be human. And ultimately there's a little bit towards the end of the book where I always shed a little tear as well, and it really is a feel-good book. I love it, and I'm actually reading this at the moment. I'm about a third of the way through it. I picked it up after I'd talked about it on Vlogmas and I thought I'm going to read it, and I've been reading it the past 2 nights and I love it. I look forward to getting into bed, picking it up and reading a few pages, and I'll have that done. So I put Clan of the Cave Bear to one side for now, which I'm also really enjoying, by the way. And I'll go and get the other book that I read every year as well. Right, just before I show you this other book, so I just remembered there was one other incoming thing that had actually come in at the last podcast, but I didn't have to show you because we hadn't opened it. So I did a swap, or we did a swap, me and Lilia, with Anna of Creative Little Sheep. And she had included a gift for Phoebe's birthday, so we hadn't unwrapped it, we'd put it to one side. And she'd sent Lilia a custom-made crochet J-Hope, I'm out of breath from running up the stairs, from BTS. So BTS, the Korean K-pop band that Lilia and Phoebe absolutely love. And when we opened the one that was for Phoebe, it's Suga. And they're both dressed in their, and they've got little posable arms as well, it's so cute. They're both dressed in their outfits from the Dynamite video. And Suga has his beads and his earphones around his neck. It's just the most adorable thing on his hair and these little funky trainer boot things. Oh, honestly. So this is, I had to go and retrieve this from Phoebe's bed. She's been sleeping with him next to her. Oh, they're just thrilled with them. They're so cute. So once again, thank you so much to Anna and Hannah for sending these glorious things. She's so clever. Anna makes makes amigurumi to sell. So it's definitely worth going to check out her shop because they really are so precious. Anyway, the book that I just went downstairs to get is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. This is the copy I read every year. It is the Dover Thrift Edition. I'll link it underneath. It's this one. You can see it's very, very dog-eared and worn from years and years of reading, and it was originally 95p. 95p. I wonder when, I don't even know where I got it, or maybe it was my mum's or something. Anyway, I read it every year. It's such a short tale that it's really easy to read it and just get that little Christmassy feeling. And I love all the films of Christmas Carol and all the different versions. And then last year, my friend Gaynor, who I spoke about earlier, she bought me the manuscript edition, which is this one. A Christmas Carol, the original manuscript edition. And that has got on each page, it has got the same page, but the original manuscript print with all the crossings out and the workings out and the ink blots, and it's just lovely. So if I do get time after skipping Christmas, I'm going to read this version this year, but I'm worried I'm going to keep getting distracted by the manuscripts, but that'll just add to the experience. So that's the 2 books. And also I've got another book which I haven't started reading yet. I might have to save it for in the new year maybe, but it was a gift from Nadia, who was one of the Strictly Prize winners, and it has been a viewer of this podcast for a long time. Sent me some gifts. She lives in Cologne in Germany, and she said this is her favourite Christmas read that she comes back to every year. It's called Christmas on the Move Out West. It's by Matthew Gonda. I've never heard of it, so I'm really looking forward to giving it a try. Again, it's not a big thick book, it's just a short tale. And I'm really looking forward to trying that. And she sent some other bits. She sent some chocolate and some beautiful yarn and little bits and bobs and a lovely card. And I've singled out this set of mini skeins to show you by Miranda May, and it is the Friends mini set. I just loved the colours. I just thought they were lovely. Don't know why I'm standing up all the time in this podcast. I don't normally, do I? Oh, I just love these colours. They make me happy. So thank you now, Jeff, for that little parcel of goodies that you sent, and I'll really look forward to trying that book. It's really nice that you did that and shared a little bit of your Christmas traditions with us. We've been watching the final series of MasterChef, and we finally finished watching it, so we know who won, and I won't say in case you're still catching up. So that was really good, although now we're like, oh, we've got no MasterChef Australia to watch. What do we do now? We're on the final season of Buffy. We've been watching it with Lilia on and off all year. And yeah, she's really loved it. And we're on the final season now. And I am getting to the point where I'm like, I'm kind of looking forward to finishing Buffy and watching something else. And we've just started The Crown again from the beginning. When we were bereft with no MasterChef Australia, Dan was like, should we just watch The Crown again from the beginning? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So we'll see how we go with that, and there might be something else that comes on. I've got my Christmas radio times, so I'm sure there's lots of stuff coming on over the next few weeks that we can watch. I'm very excited. Going to go through that with a highlighter. So let's move on to and finally, and stop my rabbiting. Let me just look around the floor and check there's nothing that I have missed talking about before I go on. Oh, I can see those chocolate coins. It'd be rude to start eating chocolate coins on the podcast. Two things. One, I've just realised I didn't mention, and I haven't mentioned in a while, that I want to do a series of tutorial videos on how to make a simple beginner crochet granny square pair of mitts, which I just made sound really complicated. So I've been working out my design, and I put it to one side, and I haven't really come back to it because I haven't had the time. But the mitts are going to look like this. Now they're quite hard to see because this is in a highly variegated yarn. Look, I can't even tell. Oh, it's this way. A highly variegated yarn, and these are really simple little sort of wrist hand warmers basically. And it's 2 granny squares and some ribbing, and they're really simple to make. And what I'm hoping to do is do a series of tutorials talking about crochet and mindfulness and making these little mitts, and do that in the new year. I'm really pleased with them. I just need to work out. I'm not a pattern writer, and this isn't really going to be a pattern. It's more like guidelines and a little tutorial. I'm really looking forward to doing a few other versions in different colours to show how they'll look. I've already started working up some in this yarn here, which was a gift from my friend Ellie. Beautiful yarn. And I want to do one in a plain yarn, so I'm doing one in a plain green, and also in different weights of yarn as well. And once I've done all of that, I'm going to do the videos. So that is still in the back of my mind, and it will come in 2020, but when, who knows. I'm very slow at these things. I have the ideas and get really enthusiastic, and then I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, I don't have time. So that I haven't forgotten. And then there was a really cool thing that happened. In my amigurumi video, I talked about 2 little lions. I've only got one of them here. The other one's upstairs in Lilia's room. I made these in 2012 for the girls. This is Phoebe's one. There he is. A gorgeous little lion. You can move his arms and legs about. He's got this little fluffy tail, this crazy fluffy mane, and they're just really cute. I made 2 of them. And I spoke about it in the Amigurumi and Me video, and I said, for the life of me, I can't find the pattern. I know I'd posted them on Instagram. I said, I'll go back and see if I can find if I put the pattern, and I hadn't. And then out of the blue, I've written this down, someone called @Kim6ally_loves_otters, best username ever, but also I have a lot of questions. Went back, found my original post of November 2012, which means she would have had to scroll through some pretty questionable Instagramming to go back that far. Found one of the commenters who had said something along the lines of, oh, I love her patterns, and said, can you remember who the pattern's by? Lovely Hegatane, who had commented way back 8 years ago in 2012, said, yeah, sure, I remember, and the pattern is, and I haven't written it down here, so hang on. Let me go and have a look on my Instagram. Bear with. The pattern designer is T Cruz Designs on Etsy. So let's now go together and have a look and see if that lion is still available. Oh my gosh, she's got so many adorable patterns in her Etsy shop. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at the gnome. Oh no, I should never have gone here. But does she still have the lion? There it is. So here it is. It's by Terry Crews of T Crews Designs. It is called Crochet Pattern Lion. And there it is on Etsy. I'll put the link underneath. So that is the pattern. So thank you so much. I'm assuming your name is Kim for actually thinking to do that when I hadn't, and finding what the pattern is. So if you were interested when you watched that video, now you know. And I should also say it is £4.66. I'm closing my shop on the 15th of December for Christmas, I've already said that, and then I'll reopen in the new year, hopefully fully stocked with my Little Drops of Wonderful pins. And basically, I'm very sorry, I've had a lot of emails and messages lately and I'm very slow to respond. I am responding, but it just takes me a long time. So if you've sent me an email or a message and I haven't responded yet, I will, I promise. And just basically, thank you so much for being here this year, for watching the podcasts, for being with me through lockdown, through all the madness of the homeschooling. We even had a trip to France and I vlogged about that over on This Little Wonderful Life. For being there through the really hard times, through Dan's redundancy and the good times, and just being there on the other side of the camera, making these podcasts, making these vlogs, doing the lockdown vlogs, gave me something to focus on in a really difficult time and a way to connect with you all over the world. And the fact that you kept coming back, kept commenting, kept being encouraging, kept telling me that the vlogs meant something to you, was just something I will never ever forget as long as I live. And I wrote about a lot in my coronavirus journal at the time, and so I'll always have that, and the girls will always have that and know that, and those videos will always be there as a reminder of this year. So just thank you for being there this year, and I look forward to spending 2021 with you as well. I think that's it for me. I think that's a good place to end. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the new year. But if you want to keep up with me, I am doing Vlogmas, and I will be doing a Crimbo Limbo vlog as well between Christmas and New Year over in This Little Wonderful Life. So after you've watched this, hop on over, make sure you like this video, then hop on over to This Little Wonderful Life, make sure you're subscribed and you can keep up with me there. And I'll really look forward to coming back with lots of lovely makes in the new year, and I'll see you then. Thank you for watching, and Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Bye.